Hi, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Welcome to the chat if you're currently here. Got some breaking news to share with you. Candice Cooley, the mother of Dylan Rounds, has basically told Box Elder County to step down from investigating the case. Just like that. You know, some of you might be surprised and thinking, what the hell's going on? Well, I'm going to break it down bit by bit in this video. We can talk along with it. You can share your thoughts, responses, opinions in the chat at the same time, okay? So as a brief little recap, because this will highlight potential contradiction and sudden changes in behavior and attitude in a short space of time, okay? So to re-jog people's memory, okay, about 4 to 5 days ago, after the investigation of Jim's trailer and the news report on ABC4 Utah, the YouTube channel, there was that news clip which I showed to you and analysed of what the mother had to say about Box Elder County. Let me replay that to you now.
Just a short while ago, Candice Cooley confirmed cadaver dogs were used, but there wasn't anything found. She says Elko County's quick response is one reason why she wants someone else besides Box Elder County to investigate the disappearance of her son.
So, as you clearly heard in that previous clip, Candice acknowledged and praised Box Elder County for a fast response time in the investigation and going to the place. Now, I want to share with you what she had to say a few days later. Here's the news report.
New information tonight on the Dylan Rounds case as frustration sets in. The mother of the 19-year-old, who has been missing now since last May, wants Box Elder County to step down from their investigation. They're requesting another police department takeover.
It's all about the lack of transparency. According to the mother of Dylan Rounds, the search warrant on Monday was just another example of her frustration with the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office.
Box Elder is still lead, and they don't communicate with us. They don't tell us anything. We have no clue. We have talked to them about this property since week number 2, and we were basically told it's of no concern.
Tuesday, the Elko County Sheriff's Office posted they assisted Box Elder in searching Brenner's property, but no items of interest or evidence was discovered on the property during the search. Meanwhile, on Box Elder's Facebook, there was no mention of the search. Cooley says the FBI told her about the search warrant last week. She says lack of information is frustrating.
We're back at this dead, complete stall. I will be honest with you, the last time I talked to anybody, actual voice talking, was June 16th from Box Elder County.
ABC4 discovered on the National Database for Missing People new information kept from the public. It said Dylan's truck was locked and the key fob was missing. However, the key fob was brought back and placed in the residence by an unknown person.
And I have disputed that in interview after interview after interview, because that's what I was told to do. This information does not get leaked to the media. We don't want to jeopardize finding our son. And then to find out that Box Elder releases it.
In an email to Cooley, Box Elder said it was a mistake to place the information on NamUs, and it's since been removed. She sent an email to Box Elder asking them to remove themselves from the investigation. Since early June, Box Elder County has yet to return any of our calls when we seek comment on other stories, and today was just another example. Their media spokesperson was out of town.
So quite a bit to process from that news report, the recent one. Let me know what you think in the chat. What's your response to hearing all of that? I mean, when you do a comparison with the first news report clip with the second, there's a big contrast. It goes from Candice acknowledging and praising Box Elder County to revealing the frustrations, the long-term build-up to it, and the issues along the way. Everything a complete mess. So where do we start? Well, maybe the catalyst point was this whole investigation of Jim's trailer. From the way it looks, It wasn't going exactly well before that. And as said, with the police back at the start, when they were at the grain shed, when they found the boots, I don't know what type of police were present back then, whether it was Box Elder County at the start, and then they were abandoned, and then the family reached back out to them. Correct me in the chat, in the comment section, what's what with regards to back then. But if we're just looking and focusing on recent time of what's gone down, it's the lack of transparency. That's the issue within the case, within this investigation of Jim's property or former property, okay? It's that lack of understanding, not knowing all the information, which has caused frustration. You might have thought, what about all this information? Where is it? Even some of the YouTubers might have been like, oh, this confusion, things are lacking, things are switching and changing. From the way we've viewed it from that news report, even the mother, the actual family who are impacted and heavily involved in this because it's to do with them and someone they've lost, even they are not kept in the loop. They are almost on the outside as well when it comes to communication and the distribution of information towards them. It's lacking. And, from the way it was worded in that report, the news one, that on the official Facebook page of Box Elder County, the investigation wasn't listed on their profile, like it just wasn't important enough. Is that the case? It's just not important to them. They have a higher priority elsewhere with other missing people. Is that the case? Or is it just like a lack of, competence? Are they not taking it serious? Are they just, not acting as professional as other police departments would? I don't know. You can let me know what you think. I mean, okay, that report was provided afterwards of the investigation and what went down, when I read it out to you about certain equipment being used, the dogs being used, and how they did things. But that wasn't released immediately. Now, that might be normal to someone like us. We're the general public. We're viewing it shortly after. The family, though, the important ones who are caught up in all of this, who are seeking help from the police, should be told first, right? And obviously, with the way it's gone and the lack of transparency, they've been left in the dark, just like the general public, which isn't good, is it? And also, referencing what was said by Candice in that second news report, is she knew of Jim Brenner's property, the burnt down trailer, on week 2. I assume week 2 of when Dylan went missing, and then the investigation begun from then. How would she know? Well, Dylan has worked with, Jim Brenner in the past. He would have learned stuff. He would have heard things and stories and then shared it with Candice, the mum. So that would make sense there. But it's the response by Box Elder County, just like putting it aside and saying the area is of no concern. There's no need, there is no importance to even go to that spot. It means nothing within the case. And that's what the mother heard. Not exactly worded properly, probably not appropriate either. And yet, despite being told that back then by Box Elder County that it's of no interest, no concern, the area, with the presence of Lance, Kimber, and Ty, and no thanks, Doug, reporting that location to authorities, Ellie, then they stepped in. Then they acted. So, what caused them to change? A shift of emotion? That they found that because locals and more people with time was reporting it and saying, no, you need to be here, you need to be here. They finally catched on and thought, maybe they actually know something we don't, so we best take a look. So, arguably, their response time when everything was underway was quick. But in terms of them being convinced to actually look and search in the area, it's like months too late. You know what I'm saying? So if it's months too late, what could have gone on in between? Could people have visited taken things away, hidden stuff, tampered with evidence? Possibly. And if not that area, maybe other locations too, such as Chase Venstra's homestead. That could have been touched, impacted at a point in time if there was a delay in investigating, creating a search warrant. So that's the problem. In addition, with bad communication, as said, Candice said, June the 16th is when Candice had a proper conversation, whether it be face-to-face or vocally, with Box Elder County. June 16th. Right now, it's like August 17th or something. Bit of a big gap, isn't there? Considering what's happened in between that with certain things going underway. So let me know what you think about that. You know, how Box Elder County has treated the investigation of Dylan. How do you think they've treated it? How do you feel towards the attitude of Box Elder County, the way they brushed it off Jim's property in Montello? And then just in recent times, they decided to act on it because of what? More voices of people saying you should come. So, bit late, not practical, because as said, with missing person case, you need to be as quick and as practical and as efficient as possible to get the best outcome. Because if there is incompetence, if there is messing around, time wastage, it's not going to end too well, is it? And this has been going on for like 2 months. So because of the incompetence of a certain police department, that could have, heavily, negatively affected the overall case and outcome. So it's not looking good. And from the way Candice worded it, quoted by her, is we've kind of reached another dead end, like that. That's not something you want to hear. You see the roller coaster effect. Sure, a few days ago, like 5-6 days ago, you had the Ellie stepping in on Jim's land. Everybody celebrating, thinking, oh yeah, this brings a tear to my eye. Shortly afterwards, we didn't find anything. People are like, And now they're being sacked. They're being dropped because of how they've treated the case and the previous stuff in the past and the lack of communication. So you find out more and you think, shit, it really is a mess. And as we said, with the lack of information, the information which we have had was misinformation, switching and changing. What's true? What's false? What do we believe? Yes, understandably, there was suspicion with the mother, and there probably still is. The way she was talking, the way she switches and changes with her words, such as the key fob and gun. Now, we move on to that part, and that's very, very important, okay? So hopefully you're still here watching and listening. We're going to get right into that now. And this is based on, from that news report, what you just saw earlier, okay? So, as a short timeline, the way things have gone about with the key fob, exclude the gun for now, because that wasn't mentioned in the NAM-US report, okay? So, the key fob originally was talked about for the first time, if I'm correct in saying, when Heavy D made his video about Dylan Rounds, which was probably a month ago, I guess, and did a little interview with Candice and the new husband of Candice, and they basically said that the key fob has been found, okay? And then shortly afterwards, it was retracted. No, it hasn't been found. You saw on a Facebook post online of Candice clearing it up, saying, we can't confirm that it has been found. From the looks of it, it hasn't been found. It hasn't been found. It was the grandparents that got mixed up with a spare set. So that's what caused the confusion. So first, it was said that the key fob has been found. Then it hasn't been found. In more recent time, the NAM-US website, a missing person profile website, which reports and profiles missing people. Dylan Rounds appeared on the database 28th of June, okay? And in the about section, the comment section down below, it said his key fob was returned back to the residence by an unknown person. So it goes from key fob found to not found to found by a stranger, an unknown person. That's where the confusion was left at. And now, as we heard in this report, Candice said, aside from grandparents getting it mixed up, that the mother had to basically dispute the claims of the key fob being found in the past with all the interviews she participated in. She had to say the key fob has not been found, despite claims it has. And the reason why is because it was found. Do you get what I'm saying? It'll make a bit more sense in a second. So whilst the mother, Candice, is constantly fighting back and disputing the claims of the key fob being found, all at the same time that's going on, the people who originally told her to dispute those claims, Box Elder County, accidentally, I guess, went behind her back and entered it in on the NamUs database, which led to us viewing it publicly, it being announced that the key fob has been found and returned to the residence by an unknown person. So, up to now, that's the truth. That's the reality. The key fob has been found, has been returned by an unknown person. And that Candice had to go against that claim to avoid, media, big names getting a hold of that information and then ruining the case. Evidence being ruined, tampered with, certain stuff has to be kept secret, closed up until a court date maybe, so then information isn't compromised, nothing's ruined. You'll know what I'm talking about. And yet the authorities, the people in charge that should know better, who also advised Candice, who is, less experienced with the law and the legal system and all of that, because she's not a part of the police or the law, okay? And yet she was the one that stuck to the point of saying it hasn't been found, and yet the authority went behind her back and made the mistake and slipped up. So it makes you think, as for the investigation up to now with the evidence found, whatever evidence that is that still valid? Is it still strong enough to put a case forward to, get maybe Jim Brenner convicted or somebody else? Or has everything all fallen through, such as the key fob, because it's been revealed publicly when it shouldn't have been? Does it mess up the legal terms? Does it go against certain rules? If that's the case, then can it be used still in a court case or not? Is it now invalid? If any of you know, feel free to leave a comment down below, because, if there is incompetence and people not acting appropriately, and that leads to evidence being ruined, that's not good. And obviously, in the past, the biggest complaint and criticism was by the mother and by general public, others, they were saying that other general public, people searching out there who aren't a part of the authorities, shouldn't be doing that because they might ruin evidence, they might trample on it, they might touch it, contaminate it, and then it's ruined, it's spoiled. And yet from the looks of it, it's the authorities that have caused the most trouble, I guess, with the misinformation, the confusion, the lack of information at times, which leads to additional confusion. Such a mess all over the place. Is there really anything else to say? Well, it's the question of who steps up next. Another police department, but who? I can understand a police department within the area nearby stepping in, because that's what happens. So what, they're going to get a police department from a different state? Or is there several police departments within a state? Let me know what you think. What do you think will happen next? Who do you think will get involved? Because whilst all this chaos is going on, the nomadic, the rogue explorers like Ty and Lance, who are constantly going out there, naturally, not getting in the way of Dylan's farm, doing their own thing, finding potential leads, being the catalyst for the investigation of Jim's trailer being looked at, they're still going. They're still finding things. finding potential leads. And in recent time, something to do with the railroads or something, a location found by them which needs to be investigated. And they said that they've reported it to the police, the department of whoever, for it to be investigated. But that was said a few days ago. Now, if Box Elder County has been dropped by the mother, who steps in now? If they are, I don't know if it's been officially released yet, but if they have been dropped from the case, they can't step in anymore because of the mother, then, you know, if Lance and Ty have reported it to police, then what police come in? If they reported it to Box Elder County, let's say, can they still come in and investigate or not, because they're not, you know, they're not tied with the case anymore? Let me know what you think, because that could compromise one thing to another. So whilst Ty and Lance are doing their own thing, mainly, you know, probably helping more than the Box Elder County, despite their incompetence and how they're performing, they're still needed as the authority to step in and to do the other procedures. Do you understand what I mean? You know, Ty and Lance can only do so much. They can find things, find evidence, but they can't just, you know, take over from there and do what the police do, or detectives or forensics. They can do all the exploring, all the hard work, you know, important stuff, but then it's needed that there's other people, other groups that then step in of higher authority and importance to be able to take things to the next level. And if Box Elder County are no longer available, then who reaches out? And how long will it take? Because every second counts. So with the stopping and stalling, the lack of updates and communication from within as well, and then being dropped, and then waiting for other police, other departments to step in and then, you know, talk things through, explain stuff. It's just going to waste so much time. Do you think in the chat a lot of time has been wasted overall within the case? And how do you feel now with the way things have gone? Another dead end. And whilst true, Ty and Lance are finding new leads and important locations to look at, if there's no one of authority around to get involved, then there's no progress, is there? So I don't know what Ty and Lance think about this, or other people too. I know there might still be drama going on here and there about certain people in between, but you put that aside for now, and this actual, I don't know if you call it drama or chaos, conflict, it's not helping. Do I have any predictions? Well, it makes sense for another police department to step in. I mean, we've got to try and understand, and I'm wording it this way because I'm not fully aware, okay? The start of the investigation, the start where it began way back then, months ago, like 2 months ago, when Dylan was reported 30th of May missing, and then it went underway. The police that first were involved, in which Candice criticised them at the beginning for the lack of, I guess, progression made, maybe communication, maybe individual performance in finding things and providing updates. She criticised them. If that was Box Elder County back then, up to now, no wonder why not enough progression has been made, and why things have been so dead, and why there's been so much misinformation over a long period of time. But if I'm incorrect in saying that, and it was a different department back then, a different police force, then that makes things even more worse, because it means 2 lots of police departments have been fired on the spot alongside private investigator Jim Terry. So then, if that was the case, then it means when they bring in a 3rd police department, you know, what's the chances they're going to be any better? The more that fail, the higher chances of that overall feeling of it's not going to get any better. So let me know. As I said, it's important. Let me know if you know about, was Box Elder County present from day one? And that's why originally Candice criticised them and then called for the general public and the news to report it and investigate. Then eventually she returned back to Box Elder County, and from then on till now, it's still been pretty shit. One or the other, feel free to let me know. Either way, it doesn't sound that good, right? Though with all that incompetence with authority, I still can't help but think, is the mother dodgy in any shape or form, even the tiniest point, okay? And I'm not talking about the key fob and the gun now. That seems to have been cleared up, okay, at this moment in time. But why does Candice praise and act all positive, from what was said, to Box Elder County when supposedly what she recalled in the second news report as them treating her badly and treating the case appallingly? You know, why praise them and then criticise them within a very short space of time? And also, why originally call out the general public to step down searching because the police are more important and more practical in searching stuff if you criticised them for not being practical in the first place, and you still say that now? And then now you're saying that despite praising them, you want other people to step in alongside. But originally you said you didn't want that because you only wanted one group to be involved in the first place, the police. But now you're saying you want more people to be involved. You see, that's switching and changing, picking and choosing when and when not, what should be allowed and what shouldn't, hiring and then firing. Oh, I'll have Box Elder County. No, they're not good enough. I'm going to fire them. I'll have Jim Terry as a private investigator. No, not having it. I don't agree with his points, even though they could be valid or interesting. I don't like those points. I don't agree with them. You're fired. You see, is there a small chance that someone's getting a little bit too controlling with the power? Okay. What about the father, Justin Rounds? What does he think about it? You don't hear much from him. You know, what does he think of Candice hiring and then firing, dropping someone and then moving on to somebody else? What does Justin think? Because he has had different thoughts in the past. So has it changed? Does he think differently now, or has it been strengthened in what he believes in? If any of you know, feel free to leave a comment down below. Because at the end of the day, you can only research and look at so much. You know, if you're a viewer, you've got spare time, obviously, you can look at this video, this, that. But if you're a viewer / content creator, you know, it's halved. You can only do so much in a practical space of time. You know, you do the research, but you can only look at so much within a certain time constraint whilst making a video and reporting on it. So you understand? So, because like in the past with the Kenny Veach case, people have said I'm an expert on it. You know, that's what other people have said, okay? I just do what I do. But why was I able to do what I did? Because I spent 5 years watching videos of the case on and off. 5 years of research. Casual, but long enough. So it's inevitable that I was able to, you know, perform at high levels. Different now because it's only been like a few months, and with it being an ongoing case, you've got to constantly keep up with everything, because if you don't, things become invalid very quickly. And as we've seen with the information, switching and changing, you know, you might get left behind, you might get lost in and drowned within the confusion. So you got to try and be active and proactive at the same time whilst balancing everything else if you're a one-man army. So it's always worth considering that, okay? So we'll leave it there for now. Doesn't seem too good. Once again, another twist, another big twist and turn within the case. Was anyone expecting this in the chat? Are any of you surprised at how this has gone? Specifically this event described in this video. Are you surprised? Or was it to be expected? I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.